happen. I'll put it. Look, recording in progress now, guys. Recording in progress. So I'm going to start with you, Yiji. You are a new face. I have seen Haymal before, and so I'm going to start with you. You are first today, and so tell us.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me why you're
Okay.
studying English.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Qian Yijie. It says in Chinese, Qian Yijie. And currently, I'm a third-year student in Harbin Institute of Technology. And
Technology.
yes,
Uh-huh.
and my major is electrical engineering.
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
I'm from Hangzhou, a city that boasts West Lake and probably green tea. And
Okay.
Hangzhou, it is called Longjing tea in Chinese. And
I see.
maybe you can taste it. And
I have
Hangzhou
certainly
is,
tasted green tea, certainly. I like green tea with lemon.
yes, probably you can take Longjing tea. It is very good. And Hangzhou is not far from Shanghai, and maybe you guys know Shanghai, and it
I've heard
takes
of Hangzhou
about
as well. I've heard of the province, but I know nothing about Chinese geography. Nothing at all.
okay. So
So are
let's
they
talk
close then,
about,
Hangzhou and Shanghai? Are they quite close geographically?
yes, it takes 45 minutes rail high speed railway train
Okay.
to from Hangzhou to Shanghai.
Okay, I see.
And
Yeah. Like from here to London, actually, it's about 45 minutes from my town to London
Okay,
by train.
and the reason why I want to learn English is because I want to continue my study in England, probably some um, Manchester University and like
Okay, yes.
that.
Yeah, very famous
So
university for physics. Certainly. I know that Rutherford went to Manchester University and did his experiments with electricity or with radiation and
yes, the
alpha
power
particles.
grid. I know the power grid the major of power grid is very good in that university. So I want to apply for it.
I see. So you'll be studying the power grid, yeah? The whole system.
Yes, yes,
So for how
yes.
to get the electricity from the power station to all of our houses, yeah?
Yes, but yes.
Yeah, I know that there are many, many complications with the electrical system, with our AC electrical system. And yeah, I think it's a very complicated subject, electrical engineering, but very useful subject,
Yes,
very practical.
yes, and everyone use it every day.
Look at me right now. Absolutely. We all use electricity every day and it all comes from the power station. So yeah, very interesting topic of how it's generated and how it is distributed to all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Uh, that's all. Thank you.
So tell me, what would you like to do today? Because we do different things. Every student chooses, and you can choose as well. You can choose to retell a TV show or a film or a book or something like that. Or you can use the cartoons, which are on my website, and you can download them and you can retell a cartoon. Or you can talk about yourself or a topic that you find interesting. Or we can do some grammar if you prefer.
Can I first talk about a TV show? But
Yeah,
I don't think I can tell it very good, so I want to try it first.
sure, sure. Which TV show are you going to tell us about?
And I want to talk about an Endeavor.
Endeavour.
And
Okay, Endeavour. I don't
yes,
know it, but you say it very well. By the way, your pronunciation is very good. It's very clear. I understand you very clearly.
it is a famous British detective show, and it tells about a
It
detective called
it
called
tells
Endeavor.
it tells us
It tells
about
it.
you need always need an us after tell. Yeah, it
Oh,
tells us
okay.
about or it
Oh,
describes. You can say it describes. Or it
okay.
tells us the story. It you can say it tells the story of. It tells the story of.
It tells us the story of um, a detective called Endeavor Morse, and he and his senior partner called Thursday, and they worked together. They worked together to deal with the uh, murder crimes in Oxford.
Good. Yeah,
Um,
murders in Oxford. He investigates murders in Oxford. Yeah.
Yes, he investigated murders in Oxford, and his police station called Thames Valley police station. I think, and
Yeah,
it
that
is
sounds
called
right to me. Yeah, that sounds correct to me. I've heard of Thames Valley Police.
yes, he is from there, and um, I remembered one episode. I especially remembered one episode, and it talked about a hospital, and
Good.
um, uh, one bed in one bed in that hospital. Um, I think there was a bed in that hospital that every patient on it um, would die, even though he passed the surgery successfully, or he would become he would recover from the ill, but
The illness. He would recover from the illness. From the
he
illness.
recovered from the illness, but everyone on that bed will die
Would die.
from
Everyone, every
die
patient on that bed.
Yeah,
Yeah, every patient
every patient on that bed died for no reason.
would. Yeah,
So
would die. We would use would there instead of will. Every patient would die for no reason. And we would use
every
would.
patient would die for no reason
It's
on that
like
bed.
good, good. It's like future in the past with will. Yeah, will becomes would when we report a story. And you're reporting it here. You're telling me that and it's all we also use would for something that happened many times in the past. And this happened many times. Every patient would die. It happened many times, yeah, every patient.
Every patient would die on that bed
You can just say
for
every
no.
patient died. You can. Every patient died on
Okay.
that bed for no reason, or every patient would die. It's very common to use would for repeated past actions.
Okay, every patient died on that bed for no reason. The detective Morse and his senior partner went went to investigate this crime.
Good.
And in the end, they found the murder was the
Murderer, murderer.
murderer. They
Good.
found the murderer was the nurse. Um,
Makes sense.
it,
Good.
yes, because um, s- uh, many years ago, when this nurse was young, his sister died in this hospital because of the um, ignorance of the of a doctor and a nurse.
Okay, a
And
good word here is instead of ignorance, negligence. Negligence of the
negligent.
doctor. It means not caring when you must care. So if a parent is negligent, they're not looking after their child. Some people are negligent with their pets and they don't look after their pets. And that's negligence. They didn't give her the proper care. They were negligent.
Yes,
So it's like
they
a,
didn't.
uh-huh,
Um,
sorry,
okay.
sorry.
They didn't. They didn't take good care of the patient, and when this nurse grew up, they wanted to pay back to that
Okay, they wanted
hospital.
revenge on the hospital. Yeah, they
Yeah,
wanted revenge. They
revenge on
wanted
the
payback.
hospital. Yeah, so he injected some medicine to the patient, and on on the bed on that bed. So every patient on that bed died for no reason.
Do you remember what medicine they used? Which substance? Which
It is to deal with the diabetes called
diabetes?
the
Diabetes.
diabetes. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to say it in English. It is a medicine injected in the
It's what
body.
diabetics inject into their body. So it's insulin, yeah? Insulin.
Yes, insulin,
Uh-huh.
insulin.
You explained it very clearly.
And the nurse injected insulins, more insulins that is
That's an
required
overdose.
to
Uh-huh.
use
An overdose of
more
insulin.
insulins too. So
An overdose of insulin. There, yeah, they
yes,
gave an overdose.
overdose
It
of
is. It is countable.
overdose insulins.
Yeah, of insulin. It is countable. An overdose of insulin.
An overdose of insulin. So the patient died because
Good.
of that.
Yeah. Well, not good, but still. Thanks for very clear explanation. Sorry, my phone started ringing and it's annoying, and I just press a button and it stops distracting me. That was really clear. Fantastic explanation of more of an episode of Morse. And how did he find out? How did he find out that the murderer was the nurse? How did he prove it? What was his evidence?
Yes, it was actually one patient died on that bed. Before she died, she investigated the. She knew the truth, and he before she died, she put one letter under a bird cage, and Morse found that letter under the bird cage, so he knew
Okay,
this
so
all this.
she accused the murderer, yeah, in this letter that she sent to Morse.
Yeah, no, she didn't send to Morse.
She left it. Yeah, sorry.
She put it under a bird cage in her own house, and when Morse and his senior partner went to his house and investigated, they found that letter.
I see.
So
So I'm curious, just because I know someone who died after an overdose of insulin. It's just that happens to be the case. I'm curious, how did she know because she was injected by the insulin and then she wrote the message? Is that how she knew? Did she know because she saw him injecting her with insulin and then
no,
wrote the message?
she knew the negligence of
Oh,
they happened many years ago.
I
So
see. I see. She knew about the negligence that had happened many years earlier.
yes,
Good.
yes, he and she so um probably write she didn't write directly to that murderer, but she writed the
She wrote. She wrote. Yeah.
she wrote the negligence many years ago, and
Oh, she read about the negligence many years earlier. Yeah, she read about.
she read about the negligence many years earlier, and Detective Morse find out the truth through this
Found
letter,
out. Yeah,
and
found out the
found out
truth.
the truth uh, through that letter, and eventually found the murderer.
Excellent. I think detective stories are perfect for practicing languages, and I mean for retelling, because there are many little details in any murder story that you have to retell, and usually it's different in every murder, in every detective story.
Yes, I really like murder mysteries in England. Many TV series about it. I like
They
to
are
like.
very popular here. I really like. I absolutely love detective stories. I really do. Good ones always make a big impression on me. I like this genre. I like the genre of murder, mystery, detective. I,
Yes, I like this genre too.
excellent, excellent. And you're right. We have so many different writers that use this genre and yeah, write about this genre. Okay, that's really good and a fantastic debut, a fantastic introduction to who you are. And I don't think you're so nervous. You're not as shy as you think. I think you were doing really well there. Very, very confident, very clear pronunciation. We're going to go now to Maria because I see Maria is a new
Hello.
face.
Yes.
I
Thank
haven't
you.
seen Maria before, and so
No.
uh, tell us about yourself, Maria. Tell us why you're learning English. You know what your aims are and anything else and what you would like to do today, whether you would like to do a book, a film, a cartoon, some grammar. It's completely up to you.
Yes. Yes. I'm Maria. I've learned English a long time, but I mean I want to keep up my knowledge, yes, because I
Excellent.
don't have any possibility or opportunity to speak to someone, and
Good.
so I read a lot, and yes, I'm very occupied with languages and at all. I mean, I do Latin and Greek and
So
also
classical languages like Latin and Greek.
yes,
Okay.
and also Italian and French and so on. And I'm the whole day occupied with all these things. You know, I have some working groups, or how can you say? Um, I work with other people, not all the time, but once a week we meet with 5 people, and then we do Latin, and then I have another yeah, group, you can say, with one person with whom I do Greek, and then with another person I speak over Zoom, not Zoom, but Skype in Italian and so on, you know. So I'm very occupied with all these things.
And is that tuition? Are you teaching them?
No, no, not really. I mean, I'm
Are they
concerned
conversation
nothing.
classes, like a club of conversation? Common hobby?
No, yes, yes, it's a club of conversation, but I don't teach. I mean, in Latin, I'm a little bit advanced in comparison with the other people,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and so of course it's like a tuition, but I'm not so advanced that I could tell me teacher or so.
And
But
I have to ask, are you interested in something like the classics? I mean, it sounds like you're interested
yes,
in the
yes, yes,
classics
yes.
and perhaps ancient Greek poetry or drama or politics or what topics are you interested in? There must be some when you're learning Latin and Greek.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the old languages. I don't have much experience about reading all those things in the original. But I mean, I'm interested from the point of view of the language
I
of
see,
the
linguistic
development
point
of
of
the
view.
language. Yes, and you can find many vestige no vesti no many
Vestiges, you
vestiges.
can
Yes.
say, yeah, vestiges.
Yes, many vestiges in our languages, in the modern languages, and so this is my interest. Yes, and yeah, and concerning the English language or the English books, I've read all the not all, but many classics. Yes, the Bronte sisters I love very
Yeah, they are
much.
great. They are
Yeah,
great. The
and they
Bronte
are
sisters.
really fantastic. Yes, and also the other things, the other. I can't remember. Yeah, at the moment all the names, but I mean the classical stuff I like most, you know. So and I've not much experience with the modern reading.
Yeah, so this is what you would like to practice today. So would you like to do
Yes.
a book or a film or use a cartoon or look at some grammar? It's completely up to you.
Oh yes. I mean I saw once in your lessons you had a cartoon and you talked about or you let the people talk about the cartoon and so I find this particularly interesting.
I do like it just for the spontaneity of it. I like it when a student just
Yes.
gets a picture and they have to talk about it. I
Yes.
think you get the same kind of spontaneity when you're remembering an old story and retelling it. I think you get the same kind of thing. But
Mhm.
okay, let me share then the Herluf Bidstrup pictures because they're the ones we usually look at. Hold on a second. And yeah, sorry, I was trying to share the link of Vestige. It's like something which is, well, can you explain, Maria?
The vestige. Yeah, vestige are not normally they are things that are in the past and you can find it nowadays. I mean, if you can have vestige in buildings and in ruins and everywhere, and also in the language.
Good, excellent. Yeah, like a relic, something that's left from an old time, and you still see a form of it today.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so let's go. Is there any kind of topic you would like? I've got so many here. These are the Hearl of Bidstrup pictures. I'll try to go towards the end because I think we've done the ones at the back less often than the ones at the front. So perhaps perhaps this one. Can you see the first picture?
Yes.
What can you see happening in the first picture?
Oh, I'm not very good at such pictures, but
Give it a try.
I try. Yes,
I agree. It's good for spotting anything which crops up. Oh, and by the way, everybody, if you click on show subtitles today, it's at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you click on show captions or show subtitles, you will see the subtitles of what I'm saying. That will come up at the bottom. And I have turned on the AI companion today. And so I will send you a summary that the AI has written. I'm not a big fan of AI, but I do like this. It gives us a summary of what we've all talked about during the class. And I will send that to your emails. Just leave your email in the Grammar Shed or send me a message in the Grammar Shed with your email, and I'll forward it to you so that you all get a copy of today's lesson. Okay, so Maria, what can you see in that first picture?
Yes, in the first picture, I see an old couple, and they are sitting. Maybe this is an evening, yeah, and both of them are occupied with something. I mean, the man, the husband wants to read, or I mean, at least he has a book there, and he has started reading, but nowadays he's interrupted. Not nowadays. Now he's interrupted by the conversation with his wife, and his wife is knitting, and she has some wool in a basket lying on the floor. Yeah.
Good, excellent. She's knitting with the wool lying on the floor. I think they've both been interrupted by what? What do you think this is? And you can see from the next, it says ding ring.
There might be a phone call, or there might be a call on the door.
Good, yeah. Doorbell, maybe. Maybe it's a doorbell. Good. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yes, and so they seem to be a little bit astonished or interrupted, and a little bit they are asking themselves who could ring maybe at this time of day.
Excellent. Yeah, who could dream of using their doorbell at this time of night? Maybe. Yeah, at this time. Good. Excellent. Okay, and here we have him. You've certainly understood the meaning of this story right from the beginning. Excellent. Keep going.
Yes, and then the husband got up and answered the doorbell, and then he saw a man there, a very funny man. I mean, he's really fat and he's a little bit scruffy. And
okay, so peculiar, yeah, peculiar, something like that. A peculiar man.
Yeah, peculiar, and he doesn't seem to know him.
Good, yeah, I agree. Yeah, perhaps he has never seen him before, and he thinks, "Who is this guy?" Excellent, I agree.
Yes, and then, but anyhow, he invites them. He invites him to come in.
Good.
And he takes the place of his of the man. And then the man.
Good, well spotted. Yeah, he takes the husband's place, and the husband takes the wife's place, and the wife is standing up. It's not fair.
Yeah, no, it's really funny because he takes the husband takes the wife's place. Yes, and
good,
so yeah. But
this was a long time ago in the 1930s. This cartoon was drawn in the 1930s. Yeah, it's a very old cartoon. All of his work, I think, is at least 100 years old.
Oh yeah.
It's a Danish cartoonist. Hearl of Bidstrup is his name. Okay, keep going. Doing really well.
And the man, the peculiar man, is laughing. I mean, he's laughing in full I don't know what to say, but he's very much laughing maybe at his own thoughts, because the couple doesn't seem to be knowing what he's up to. Yeah.
Good, yeah. They don't seem to find it quite as amusing. I agree. He's
Yeah.
laughing maybe at his own jokes.
Yes, yes, and he's smoking, and I can't I don't think he has asked if you could smoke, but
No. Perhaps in those days you didn't. You just started smoking in those days. I'm not sure.
that's right. Yes,
It was much more normalized, wasn't it, a long
Yeah.
time ago, to smoke inside somebody's house or
Yeah.
inside a restaurant.
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
So
Keep
they
going.
are very, very curious about him, yeah, and what he will say, or what kind of person he is.
Good. Excellent. Okay.
Yes, and then I mean the story goes further, and so they invited them to have a supper with him. Yeah?
Good. Yeah,
And
they invited him to supper.
yes, he invited him to supper. Yes, and so he enjoys it very much, and
Yeah.
so he's always smiling. You know, he never has. I mean, at least for the next three situations, he has never stopped smiling. But the couple has they have an expression of the face that is the same as well, because they don't smile, they just look in astonishment at the man, and
Good. Yeah.
don't know what it's about.
I think we often call somebody like this a bore when somebody is laughing at their own jokes and saying everything and dominating the conversation, and
Yeah,
everybody else is not really laughing or not joining in. I think we
yes,
often say a bore, or certainly somebody who, a good phrasal verb here is talk at
yes.
somebody, when you don't pay any attention to your listener, and you just
Yeah.
speak and speak and speak and start laughing at your own jokes.
Yes,
We would certainly say, yeah, he was talking at me instead of to me.
yes, he is talking at them, and
Good.
he isn't aware of the fact that that they don't follow. Maybe that they don't, they have nothing to say, or they can't get into the conversation at
Good.
all.
Excellent.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, and then the situation develops. I mean, then the man stands up and uh, embraces the husband.
Good.
And yes, the husband has, yes, he has a box, and I think the man puts a cigarette in it, or not a cigarette, but a cigar in it,
I think he takes the cigar out of
or
it. Yeah.
or maybe he takes
I think
the
it's his
cigar out.
cigars. Yeah. And he's like, oh, yes, thank you. I will help myself.
Yes, yes, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He takes the cigar and is very, very enjoyed about it, or he enjoys it very much,
Good.
So
Good.
yes, yes, and then they sit again on the table, and the wine is served, or maybe some harder alcohol.
I think, yeah, maybe some harder alcohol. I agree. They want to get rid of him.
Yeah. So I mean,
What are
it
they doing in the
seems
next picture? What are they doing here? What's the wife doing?
with yes. Um,
Ugh.
yeah, the wife is tired.
She's
I mean,
tired. She's exhausted. Which verb do we use?
uh,
Ugh.
she's oh she I don't know.
Begins with a
I've
Y.
forgotten.
I
Huh?
think it begins with a Y. I think it's an Anglo-Saxon word. I don't think it's a Latin word.
Yeah.
Yawn. Yawn.
Yawn. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
she's
this word,
yawning.
but I've
She's yawning.
forgotten. Yeah. Yawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Ugh.
yawns. Yes.
Good.
And the situation doesn't change at all. So and
Excellent. What does
yeah.
he do? What he takes extreme measures at the towards the end.
Oh yes,
What does the host do?
yes. He puts the clock forward.
Good.
And
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, he puts the clock forward. Does that
yes.
work?
No, not really. I mean, the bottle is there's still something in the bottle, and so and so yes. I mean, at least he's alone with his man, and the wife has gone to bed, I think. Yes, in
Yeah,
the
at first, but
yeah.
then, but then, what happens in the
Ah,
last
yeah,
picture?
and in the last picture, I mean, because they have all gone to bed. I mean, he sits in the middle and still enjoys himself and doesn't seem to be tired.
He hasn't stopped talking. He's still talking at them. They're already asleep. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're nodding off. They're dropping off, and we do often use those two for when somebody starts to sleep. We say, "Hi." They're nodding off. They're dropping off. They're starting to fall asleep. They're falling asleep is great as well. That was
dropping off. Excuse me, dropping off. So this means they fell asleep or what?
they are falling asleep. They are
Yes.
starting to sleep. They are falling
Uh-huh.
asleep. They are dropping off. They are nodding off. It's when you're just starting to fall asleep. And you can
Okay.
see from, well, I hope they are dropping off. Maybe they're not because he's too noisy and
Yeah.
he's speaking so much.
Yes.
But yeah, I know what we would call this in English speaking countries. I'm sure we would always say the it's actually called The Guest. This is a
Yes.
Russian book, and
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
they loved his pictures in the Soviet
Uh-huh.
Union. I think maybe his politics aligned with the Soviet Union. And so, yeah, we would say the uninvited guest, certainly,
Ah, yeah.
because we talk about uninvited guests. And I agree, he really sounds like, and they're surprised, aren't they, when they hear the
Mhm.
doorbell? So this is the uninvited guest, someone
Yes.
who they were not expecting. And suddenly he's there all night. And even when they go to bed, even when they're dropping off, he's still
Mhm.
there talking away, waffling on, rambling on. Yeah, you could use these phrasal verbs, waffling on about something,
Uh-huh.
rambling on about something.
Yeah.
We often use these ones for when somebody is talking and talking and talking, droning on about, but I think that sound, they're all slightly different, these phrasal verbs, but I would say drone on about is more monotonous. It's when somebody has a monotonous voice, they drone on about. So maybe at university, a lecturer drones on about something. If they've got that same flat tone, then we could say
Mhm.
drone on about. Okay, excellent. Let's go to Alyona because she's been waiting patiently there at just seen her at the bottom, and then we'll go to Heimal. And so, Alyona, can you hear us?
Yes, yes. Hi.
So you've already come to these classes. You know what we do. What would you like to do today? Would you like to do grammar or would you like to do something else?
Uh, Actually, I had a grammar question.
Please.
While you were talking about could, you said it's a future in the past. Would,
Would
would.
is future in the
Yeah,
past.
maybe we can practice this. And I also have a question. Why sometimes, like, would and could, sometimes at work when people trying to be polite, they don't ask, can you do this? They ask, could you do it?
That is one usage of would and could. One of the uses is that we use it to make things polite. We say, would you like, instead of do you want. Do you want sounds quite, I don't think of it as massively impolite, but with somebody that I was making an effort for, I probably would say, would you like rather than do you want, which sounds much more direct. Would you like sounds nicer. It does sound more polite. Yeah, but there's no real difference in meaning between do you want and would you like. The difference is just tone. One is slightly more polite. I'd say would you like is more polite. Yeah.
And how about can? Like I'm
And,
more
and by the way,
because
definitely,
it's more.
I would like is much more polite than I want. I want sounds too immediate. It sounds too direct. It
Okay.
sounds like give me. Give me sounds particularly rude. I remember in Moscow, the kids would say, give me a pen, like that. And I would always tell them, you shouldn't really say that, not in England. I know they're just translating from their native language. And that's what everybody does, yeah, when they're speaking a foreign language. But it does actually sound rude to use imperatives in English, like give
Mhm.
me or stop or don't something or other. Yeah, it sounds like you're giving orders to that person because imperatives are orders, and that I suppose is why they're impolite. Whereas, and so it's normal for the teacher to say do this or do that, but it's not so normal for the pupil to say that to the teacher. But yeah, it's just a question of politeness. It really is. I want is not very polite, but I would like is very polite. Could you give me is much better than give me. Yeah. So could is also used to make things more polite. Could you give me is polite. Please at the end as well. Could you give me a pen, please? Is great. Give me a pen, please. Still doesn't sound that good. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, what about difference between can and could? Like, can you help me or could you help me?
I would
Like,
say that, yeah, I mean, really good question again. They both mean the same thing. They're both correct. Can you help me? Could you help me?
mhm,
Again, I would say that could sounds slightly more polite than can, and would
mhm.
sounds more polite than, well, I don't want to compare it to will because usually will and would they are one is the main form and one is the preterite form. I've seen this in grammar books before that can and could are a pair, like will and would, like shall and should. And this is really about Old English grammar. But certainly will and would are a pair, shall and should are a pair, and that's why in reported speech, can and could, will and would, shall and should do function in the same way. Yeah, in the reported speech, you need could, would, or should. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So
But
just when you're in a work environment, like when I talking to my colleagues and I need for something, I should use could, right? Like in
it just
corporate.
sounds, yeah, it just sounds slightly more polite to my ears anyway. It just sounds
Okay.
slightly more polite to my ears to use could or would. It sounds more polite, certainly, to say, could you, and then the imperative, because then it's not an imperative. Could you do this? Could you give me this? Could you meet me later? Um, we always use infinitive after modals, but if you just say meet me later or something like that, it sounds less polite, certainly 100% less polite than could you meet me later, please?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
smile. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to sound rude Russian in my job.
Yeah, I mean, really, the truth is, I don't want to say that because, it sounded rude to me when these kids were saying it. But of course, I understood they're just kids and they're just translating from their own language. They're not being rude. The truth is that in Russian, you have a lot of polite forms that we don't have at all in English, like V. Yeah, you've got all that
Mm.
V stuff. You've got vam, vas, yeah, vami. You've got loads of polite forms. And I've heard how Russian children speak to their teacher and they say, Natalia Nikolaevna or something like that. And that sounds
Mm.
so polite to me. It's so much more polite than what the kids here do when they say, sir or miss. Yeah, that's what they say here, sir or miss. And to say the first name and the patronymic sounds very, very polite to me. And so I
Okay.
would never say that Russians are rude. It's just that the two languages have different ways of showing polite behavior. Russians are actually very polite with their teachers. I've seen them. They're extremely polite, more polite than English kids are with their teachers, certainly 100%.
Well, there's a reason for this because they're terrified of the teachers.
Okay, yeah. So the teachers have already
That's
they've
that's
laid
the
down the
reason why
law.
they're polite.
That sounds good to me. They've got discipline still in the classroom. Fantastic. The thing which puts me off working in any schools in the UK, and I have tried, I did it for 2 years, is the behavior. And
Mm.
certainly, I think that half of your effort, the effort that you put in a lot of schools, is into classroom management and behavior. And it's two things I always hated. I never felt any good at it. And personally, I like teaching, but I don't like managing people or trying to mold somebody's behavior from a very young age. I'm a parent myself. I have this problem with my own kids. I don't want to be doing it with other kids as well. Certainly not.
Sounds good. So can you give me examples like of the future and the past, like
Sure,
to
sure, yeah. I mean, one way of thinking of it is just reported speech. If you say, I will do that, then you say, Dave said he would do that. Yeah. Uh,
okay.
and by the way, I mean, if I say I will do this, even this changes to that in reported speech. I think a lot of people forget this, but even this changes to that. And so there are other words. It's not just will and would, although that is the main one I want you to remember. But even this changes to that, and things tend to get more distant in the reported
Hmm.
version. And so, yeah, I will do this. It would be direct speech. That's me speaking directly. But Dave said he would do that. Is how you would report it. So firstly, reported speech, but really reported speech is future in the past. It is the future form after a past tense verb. And so really future in the past and changing will to would in reported speech, they are exactly the same thing. I would call them both future in the past, because here's an example where it's not reported speech. Something like, I knew, that knowing is not speaking. And so Dave knew he would do it. Yeah. Dave knew that he would do it. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? That's future in the past because it's after a past tense verb, knew. And so that's the past part, the past simple, knew, said, but we've got to change the will to would because it's future in the past. Do you see what I mean?
Yes. So, for example, situation, my boss asked me to do something, right? And I don't have time, and I ask my colleague to help me, and I need to report today to my boss, saying that, for example, the name Marina, right? Marina will do it, but I mean, she's going to do it today and tomorrow. And I write my boss, hi,
Then
boss.
I would say, yeah. Oh, okay, go on.
Marina said she
reported
will
speech, would, reported speech.
Would.
As soon as you say Marina said, it must go to would. As soon as you say Marina said, then it must go to would.
Okay, even if she will do it today and tomorrow.
I mean, let me put it like this in a written form. Yeah, and I will talk about that in a second as well, because that's also important, Alion. I'm glad you asked. But, if I do it like this, Dave said speech marks. Okay, he will do it. Yeah, in speech marks, you can say, Dave said, I will do this. Yeah, but if the speech marks aren't there and I change the comma to a that, that's when it's Dave said that he would do this. Yeah. And because in everyday English, we just very often drop the that. I think in everyday English, we say, Dave said he'd do it. Dave said he'd, we shorten the would to he'd. Dave said he'd do it. Dave said he'd do it. I think that's much more common than Dave said he'll do it. Now, to your second question, can you say Dave said he will do it? Yes, you can, as long as it's still in the future. If I said I will do it and I did it yesterday, then I would always change the will to would. But if it's still in the future, then you can keep it as a will. Dave said he will do that. This is a question where if you want the detailed answer, I want you to find the grammar course. You're on Master Advanced Grammar, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's on that main course that I do, Master Advanced Grammar. And there is in fact, I can find it for you. Hold on. I'll even share the screen so you can see exactly where it is. So it's going to be on Master Advanced Grammar. I'll stop sharing this screen. I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. Stop sharing. New share. Okay. I just want to show you how to find it. And so if you go to Master English Grammar, sorry. Sometimes called Master English Grammar, sometimes called Master Advanced Grammar. It's confusing. And click on the course. And then go down to the video on reported speech and the sequence of tenses. Hold on, it's down here. I think it's past tense in all aspects. Maybe not. Okay, where is it? Reported speech and the sequence of tenses. Do you know where it is? Hello, Sneha. Hello, Sneha.
Hi, Dave.
Aha, there it is, reported speech. But there is one where it's the sequence of tenses. Is it that one? Yes, it is that one. It is that one. So go to reported speech, just reported speech. And I actually talk about this, that you can say, Tim said he needs a pen instead of Tim said he needed a pen. And we often do in everyday English, we often do, but it has to be still true now. Yeah, we can say Copernicus wrote that the planets go around the sun, or we can say that Copernicus wrote that the planets went around the sun. Both are correct, but we can only say go because they still go around the sun. If they had stopped going around the sun and started going around something else, then we couldn't say it anymore. You know, we would have to put it in past. We would have to say went because it's not still true now. Yeah. And so this is the difference. In the lesson, I make a distinction between reported speech, which is called the attracted sequence, and all the tenses move back and will goes to would, blah, 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 and the natural sequence. And notice we use the word natural, perhaps because that's what everybody actually does in everyday English. Yeah, they naturally don't move all the tenses back. Perhaps I more often do than other people, just because I've been learning reported speech and I've been teaching reported speech for a long time, and that will make my English a little bit different, of course. But the natural sequence is here on the right, and I always show it with the speech marks just to show you that that's really what you're doing with a natural sequence. It's as though you're putting it in speech marks, because in speech marks you would not put them back, the sequence of tenses. But yes, with reported speech, with a that and no speech marks, you do need to move them back, and you need to change the will to would, and can to could, and even this to that, yesterday to that day. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Or the day before, maybe the day before. But yeah, it was a very good question, and so you can find it. You can find the answer on that particular course, Master English Grammar. Have a look for it. I think I might talk about it in a couple of other courses, but that's the main course where I deal with reported speech and the sequence of tenses. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Any other grammar questions or anything else, please?
No, I will leave time for other guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me give you one quick test on something, because I would quite like to test you on something still first. Hold on. And so we're going to share something else. Hold on. Yeah, something else, because I know you've been waiting patiently. I want you to do something like this. This is the advanced English file, so it is a hard one. Oh, no, not that one, not that one. Oh, okay, don't want you looking at the answers. 1 second. Different one. Hold on. These subtitles are in my way. There they are. Okay, and it is, yeah, it's back to the midscript, but it's over here. So this is a test with the verb have. Just do a couple of questions for it. I just want you to do number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, what do you think for number 2 first?
I have been reading the same book for 3 months and I still have not finished it.
Excellent. Read is very dynamic, and it is better to use the have been reading, like have been learning, have been studying. Okay, try number 3.
I'm not going to her wedding because I don't have anything to wear.
If they're both possible, you can say both.
Okay.
Are they both possible or just one?
I think just one I don't have.
Yeah, they don't say haven't got in the States.
Yeah.
I think
Let's
they
say-
do. No, they say.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I've never been there. Don't take my word for it. I don't know the States very well. You know the States. Obviously, you're living there. You have been
I
living there
think
for a long time.
yeah, but maybe somewhere. I feel like in New York, the people just trying to say quickly everything.
I know what you mean. Yeah, they're not thinking about what they're speaking about. Of course, the same with people in London. Exactly the same. You can say both there. You can say, I don't have anything to wear. I haven't got anything to wear. Yeah, both okay. Just like I have a brother.
Okay.
I've got a brother. Exactly the same. I have a car. I've got a car. Okay, try number 4.
The thieves are thought to escape after the robbery.
I'm afraid not.
No.
No?
Not here. It can't be. After they are believed, and I'll write some of these down.
Oh,
They are
it's
believed.
like
This is perfect infinitive. It's the perfect 2 plus infinitive. It's very rare, but you do see it after they are thought, they are said, they are believed, they are known. To have, and you very often see this in newspapers. I've noticed it, and in literature as well. You do see it in written form more often than you hear it, certainly. But I'm trying to use it in my speech. You need to start using it in your speech as well, Aliona. We need to be the only ones using it in our speech. It does sound good. It sounds very intelligent to me, to kind of, they are thought, they are known, they are believed. Very often in crime reports, when they're talking about the suspect is known to have been wearing, and you can even have that, to have been wearing, which is perfect continuous 2+ infinitive. But to have, and so here the thieves are thought to have escaped after the robbery, and it has to be used if it's already finished. If it's not already finished, okay, the thief is known to be wearing right now, but that's unlikely. But to have worn during the robbery, or to have been wearing during the robbery, yeah, we'd use one of those. And yeah, the thieves are thought to have escaped after the robbery. It must be to have escaped there. Okay, let's move on to Heimal now, because you're right, we are running out of time. Heimal, are you there? Can you hear us? I know Heimal likes grammar.
Yes.
Do you want grammar, or do you want speaking? Do you want grammar, or do you want speaking? I think you always like the grammar.
I am going to narrate a story.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you've done a few stories as well, haven't you? Go on. Which story are you going to do today?
Yeah, I am going to talk about Martin Minton by Ken Pines.
Excellent. By Ken Pines.
He's a cartoonist. Yeah, he's a cartoonist from your fellow countryman, I think. He's a British cartoonist.
He's a British cartoonist. Yeah, he's a British cartoonist, like Herluf Bidstrup. Yeah, he's a cartoonist. Yeah.
Yeah. This book is about Martin Minton, from his childhood to his death. So he's born from his birth. He is very bored children in his school, very even farthest than mediocre student. Very he is very was. He do not have any ambition. He just want to be happy. That's his only ambition. And when he is a teenager, he's very alone, and he
lonely. He's very romantic. Yeah, he's very lonely as a teenager.
Lonely, and he
alone just means
it's
not sad. Good.
Yeah, he doesn't have a girlfriend, and he wish he could have one.
Eventually, hold on. He wishes. It's the most common mistake in English, missing that S. Yeah, he wishes. Yeah, it's the most common mistake, I think. He talk instead of he talks. He speak instead of he speaks. He wishes.
So he eventually have an affair with his father's boss's wife.
He eventually has an affair with his father's boss's wife. Excellent.
Wife, yes. So, but this woman takes the initiation, not the guy. So, but eventually
she takes the initiative. She takes the initiative. She takes the initiative. So she comes on to him. Yeah, is that what you mean? Yeah. She chats him up. Yeah, she chats him up. She takes the initiative. Sorry, I'll rewrite that properly. It's a good expression. She takes the initiative. Yeah, she initiates the romance. You can say it like that as well. She initiates the romance.
So when she wants to dump him, she reveals of this relationship to her husband.
Okay, so, she just tells him, her husband, I've been having an affair. Yeah.
But before that, she helps him to get a job from her lover's brother's accountant firm.
Okay.
So he, he comes in a rage to Martin's house and tells him, father, that your son is having a relationship with my wife, and he smack on Martin's face, and his father doesn't worry about his
Martin's
son. He's only concerned about his job.
Okay. I understand.
Father's concern is about his job.
He has to put food on the table. He's got to put food on the table.
Yeah, then Martin decides that he should leave his parents' home and he should start live in his own apartment. So
Yeah.
he moves
Start
on
living, start life,
in
or
that
start living in his own apartment.
bed sitting apartment. So in that apartment, he finds a girl whose name is Angela. But he doesn't have any courage to talk with this girl, and he ponders 6 months how to approach this girl, and finally decides go to her door and bell the ring and ask her to loan a cup of sugar.
Ask for a cup of sugar.
So
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah,
his chat up line. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, can I have a cup of
yeah,
sugar?
yeah, yeah.
Could I have
And
a cup of
yeah,
sugar?
then he comes again and asks for a cup of sugar, and he says, now by now you should know that I am not interested in a cup of sugar. I really want to talk with you. So then he takes her out, but he doesn't take to romantic places like cinemas, parks, but very boring places like railway stations, uh,
Why?
museums, because
Museums.
he's a boring guy. He's a very boring guy. Even she thinks this guy is very boring. So sometimes it might means that he's the person who I should marry,
I see.
because he is boring.
Yeah, I understand.
So
He maybe should have
they
thought about
eventually,
what she wants to go to and not what he wants to go to.
yeah, eventually they get married, and but their family life doesn't turn to be a happy one, because
Good.
Martin is very introvert. Then he
He's very
finally
either
eventually
he is very,
decides to suicide.
to commit suicide. To commit suicide. He
Yeah,
eventually
yeah,
does to commit suicide.
yeah.
Wow.
So
And is that the
he
end?
goes to I think no. He goes to I think bus halt, and he hangs himself on a
on
rope.
a rope,
But
yeah, on a bus stop. Yeah,
television interviewer, yeah, on a bus stop. Yes, yes.
uh-huh.
Yes, bus stop. A
I see.
television interviewer sees him and he thinks he might give me a very interesting interview, and for that sake, he saves him and
Okay.
brings him to the TV station. And he interviews him. Why did you want to commit suicide? And he says that very that he very mediocre things. But anyway, that TV show becomes a super hit, and everyone start to watch it, and he becomes a philosopher of Britain, and everyone quotes him. Everyone wants to autograph from him, and he has
He becomes
become
a
a superstar.
celebrity. Yeah, a celebrity, a superstar.
Absolutely,
Excellent. He
yes.
becomes a celebrity after this TV show. Everybody loves his story. Yeah, his personal story of how he ended up committing suicide, well, attempting to commit suicide.
Yeah, but her wife Angela cannot take this quick popularity, and she has a new affair with his variety manager, and then she leaves him. So then another woman who wants to exploit, and she wants to strike a role in a major film. So she wants an affair with him, and she asks him to go to some discreet hotel and have some affair. But she has invited to all the media paparazzis to come there, and so they invaded their room. They are on their bed, and she makes a statement that we are going to marry next month, and I am going to be an actress. I am expecting a major feature film like that. So she marries him, and she exploits his popularity, and because of her behavior, she becomes broke, and then
She goes broke. Actually, we say go broke. She goes broke. Go broke.
no, not the woman. I mean the Martin Minton.
Okay, Martin goes
Because she
broke.
exploits his, yeah, Martin goes broke, and then she leaves him because she just wanted to exploit him, to use his popularity to get her to get a place for her in film industry,
Yeah,
and
I see. It's a very competitive industry, and she wanted to use him, to gain advantages, to become successful in the music industry or film industry.
Then Martin finds himself that everyone has forgotten him. Now they have another celebrity philosopher. Everyone quotes him now. No one seems to recognize Martin, so he becomes pauper, and he is all the remaining property that woman grabs that. So he becomes a insurance agent. Then he becomes a pedestrian seller, and
Sorry, a
finally,
pedestrian seller.
Someone who sells on the payment.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, someone just working from the pavement, selling like a trader, or a market trader, something like that. Someone trading in the market. Someone trading on the street, a street trader. Let's put it like that. A street trader. He's buying and selling.
He's
He's
wearing
buying.
socks, and so
Okay,
finally
I'm going to
he
stop. I'm
decides
going
that
to go on. Wrap it up.
yeah. He decides that he should become extrovert. Not this has to become to an end, and he starts a journey. On his along his journey, he sees a young woman tries to commit suicide. She's about to jump from a
Oh,
building,
okay. She's
and
about
he
to.
thinks that, yeah. So he thinks she did that was me. I also was in
She is
this
my type. She's
condition.
my type. She works for
My
me.
type.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to go and save her. So he goes there. She falls on him, and
Falls for
both of
him.
them
She
ends up
falls for
end
him.
up.
Yeah. She falls in love with him. She falls for
No,
him.
no. She actually jumps
Oh,
from
she
the
falls on him.
building.
Sorry. Okay. She falls on him. She falls on him.
Yeah. So both end up in hospital, and they eventually become friends, and they married each other.
Is it a
Finally,
comedy? Is it a
they
comedy,
live in a
this
village.
book? Yeah. Is it a comedy?
Yeah, they live in a village. They live in a village happily ever after. But USS Space Agency, some spaceship falls on their house, and they die.
Okay. Yeah. Is it a comedy? Is it a comedy?
Yeah.
It does sound like a comedy.
Ken Pines is yeah. You should check out him, that cartoon.
Check him out. Check him out. Yeah, rather than check out him. Check him out. You should check him out. Yeah, it's one of those phrasal verbs where you've got to put the somebody in the middle. Yeah, you should check him out. Yeah, Ken Fiennes. Did you say Ken Pines? Ken Fiennes?
Yeah, Ken Pines.
Ken
I
Pines.
will write down.
Yeah, write it down.
Yeah.
I will write it down, not write down it. I will write it down. Remember to put the pronouns in the middle of phrasal verbs where it's required. It's not always required, but write it down, check him out. Some phrasal verbs, you've got to put the pronoun in the middle. Other nouns can go on both sides, actually. You can say, check this out. Oh, no, this is a pronoun, but check my essay out. Check out my essay. They're both okay. But with pronouns like it, this, or him, you've got to put them in the middle sometimes. Yeah? Okay, well, we'll stop there today. I see Snehal has just arrived, actually, a bit late, but Snehal, do you have a question? I'll give you a question if you've got a question.
Yeah. 3 grammar questions.
Okay, quick then, because we're already gone a bit over today.
Yeah. What pronouns are we going to, should we use for everyone, somebody, and speaker?
It's up to you, really, but I would say he, personally. If I don't know who it is, then I'd say he or she, maybe, or I'd just say somebody, something like that. It does depend on the situation, but someone. Yeah, someone. I would say someone has left their bag on the table. That's natural English. But you are using singular and plural for the same thing, and that's frowned upon in academic English. But still, it's what everybody says. Someone has left their bag on the table is natural English. Yes.
Okay. And just finish this sentence. I want to watch dash TV. Have you seen the remote? Dash, is article needed there or not?
Oh, okay. I want to watch TV. It wouldn't be, I want to watch the TV. You could put one in if you want to. Personally, I would just say I want to watch TV, but I don't see anything wrong with I want to watch the TV. That means the object in the room rather than TV in general. And so I would normally just say watch TV because you just mean TV in general. Watch the TV means watch the television, watch the object in the room. Yeah, it becomes a solid object, suddenly something in the room.
Okay. And one last question. I went into the room and the computer wasn't there. Somebody dash it, took or had taken?
Had taken, definitely. Somebody had taken it. Someone had taken it, and the computer wasn't there. Someone had taken it. Natives will sometimes use past simple instead. Someone took it, but someone had taken it if it's earlier than a previous past simple verb, certainly. Yeah, and it's earlier than wasn't there. Someone had taken it. That's why it wasn't there. Someone had taken it. Okay. Yeah, but a lot of natives will just say took. They do. They very often use past simple instead of past perfect. We all do it sometimes, certainly. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll stop there for today, but I will, the AI will write us a summary of today's lesson. And so if you want to see the AI summary of today's lesson, just put your email in the Grammar Shed or send me a message on the Grammar Shed. You can send little messages in the Grammar Shed as well. Send me a message if you don't want everybody to see your email. No problem. Just send me a message and I will forward the AI summary to all of you. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, I will see you all next week. I'm still waiting for somebody to suggest a time. So if anybody has a time that they want to suggest, perhaps some of the new students today, because I saw Yiji was a new student and Maria was a new student. Yiji, Maria, if you have a time that you would like to suggest for a speaking class, please put it. Tell us when you are free.
Yes, I've already done it.
Yiji, oh, okay, have you? Okay, Yiji has already done it. As well, he told me between 1 and 4, any day, but between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock UK time. And so perhaps I'll use that idea for the next class. But there will be one next week. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. I'll see you all next week, guys. Thank you for coming. Thanks for sharing your English skills with everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.